How many chickens are we talking about?
Stupid dog.
That'd be 6 chickens, m'lady. Worth 6 septims, they is. It ain't my fault, m'lady. I ain't got no 6 septims. Me auntie, she recently hurt her elbow.
Enough! Jimmy, listen to me carefully. If I hear of your dog again, it will cease to be. Do you understand?
Well met. It's court protocol until Lady Sigun asks us to sit.
And compensate the plaintiff.
As you wish, my lady.
Stupid dog.
Stupid dog.
Dragonborn! Thank the gods you came! How many years now? Well met. She did write you, you know, but we could never find you. She's fine, you know Rigmor. When we first arrived, it took some time to get used to our new lives. She didn't take too well to living here in the keep. Our old house is now her apartment. I have been left to attend to the more mundane courtly duties, with the help of court advisor Malisam and Master Freathoff. Well met.
Guardian, alive and well. I am so pleased to make your acquaintance once again. I seem to have this preference for cold, wintry places. We feel right at home here, don't we, Keris? Please let me introduce you to Master Freathoff, a scholar and court mage to the Countess.
I have heard so much about you, Guardian. It's good to finally meet you at long last.
Come, let's sit. Help yourselves to refreshments. Well met. Martin Blackwell, Lord Chancellor to the Emperor.
A very dangerous man, Guardian. He heads a very secretive and powerful spy network. Former Lord Chancellor to Titus Mead II, and now does the bidding of the new dynasty. His loyalties lie in the sworn oath to protect and serve the imperial throne, no matter whose behind rests upon it. He became bitter after failing to find Titus Mead II, leaving a rather long and bloody trail behind him. He blames the Dark Brotherhood and utterly crushed the underground ring here in Cyrodiil. But he is cruel and devious, and we have good cause to fear him.
Before he can be coronated, the Emperor needs Rigmor to sign the noble decree.
Yes, our bandit king is to bestow upon himself the title of Titus Mead III. Rigmor has yet to sign it, but to do so, she would have to enter the nest of vipers. I cannot be sure whether they know of Rigmor's true ancestry. If they do, she would be considered a pretender to the imperial throne.
Sathius is a common bandit. Although very powerful, he is no noble. As far as we know, Titus Mead II left no living heir. As the noble houses of Cyrodiil bickered and argued, Sathius took the throne by right of combat, as Titus Mead I took the throne from Thules 200 years ago. Rigmor's ancestral link to Titus Mead I puts her in grave danger if Sathius were to find out.
If all she does is have to sign this document, so be it. But we cannot let her go alone. However much I hate what has happened to Cyrodiil, this bandit king becoming emperor by right of combat, we cannot change that, and don't want to. When the war happened, Cepheus sent envoys. We told them Bruma was a free city. We wanted no trouble. I didn't want a repeat of what happened to Leowyn.
It was virtually razed to the ground, half the populace put to the sword in a shining example of the ruthlessness of our new liege. All the nobles, including ourselves, took the chance of amnesty, laid down our arms, and signed the white gold settlement of the year 203 of the Fourth Era. We were left as a free city only until recently. Cepheus now wants us to sign the noble decree as well. Apparently he needs it to legally become part of the Mede dynasty. Bruma is, after all, part of Cyrodiil and the Empire. Free or fourth?
He was always causing problems here in Cyrodiil. After the disappearance of Mede II, his bandit army grew so big not even the legions could contain it.
His army would attack and plunder at will. The imperial court, in absence of the emperor, sent for General Quintus Vitalis of the Northern Army. By the time Quintus arrived, it was all but over. Cepheus had marched into the imperial city with some 5,000 men. Quintus could not cross the bridge.
The imperial court surrendered the city. Quintus was sent with the Northern Legion to the Hammerfell border to protect Anvil, effectively stopping Red Guard nomad bandits from the Brenner River area. You see, Guardian, now there is peace in Cyrodiil. What was destroyed is being rebuilt. There are no raids and attacks on the counties anymore. The bandit army became overnight the new Imperial army. Our only concern is Rigmor's welfare.
But by her nobility, Rigmor is now caught up in this ridiculous power play. We just want her to sign the document and return home. But as Jonte says, if they know, she might not return at all, and we cannot risk the chance that they do. If only I knew. I'll let Jonte fill you in on the current situation with my daughter. I must apologize, Dragonborn. I'm so tired and must retire. Once you've finished here, Carice will show you to your room.
Ah, yes, the errant countess. Rigmor is a lore unto herself. I had hoped she might someday take responsibility for her newfound position, but it's not going to happen anytime soon, is it? Really? I'm afraid. You could put it that way, Guardian, but she seems happy when she does grace us with her presence. Of late, she's been spending her time between the Tap and Tack Ale House and the Roxy Inn. The latter is a mile south of this side of Lake Rigmor. If she does frequent Bruma, she abodes at her apartment behind the cathedral, 5th house along from the inn in the lower quarter, or the Tap and Tack. You might try there first. Ask about. She keeps unruly company, and of late has been in the company of Count Leowyn's son, Robert de Madalius. After the sacking of Leowyn and the murder of the Count and his family, Cepheus placed one of his trusted henchmen in the Count of Leowyn's place. Robert is his son. Sigun and I tried to advise Rigmor that he is not of noble character. We had hoped to match her with the Count of Coral's son, and she took absolutely no notice whatsoever, and did as she always does, her own thing, essentially. Guardian, as long as she's happy, or as happy as can be considering her traumatic past, we are happy too. But there's something else. Ariel Cepheus is a weak emperor. He is not the true power behind the throne. If it were a simple case of escorting Rigmor to the Imperial Court to simply sign the document, I would have sent an escort from the Bruma garrison, which would have sufficed. As you know, as a disciple of my beloved mistress, I have certain privileges and insight, and there is indeed a very real concern Rigmor would be in danger at the court. We believe Cepheus's wife is a daughter of Cold Harbor.
Rumors are she is 300 years old, yet her skin maintains a likeness akin to that of porcelain.
We believe she is behind Cepheus's rise through the bandit ranks, and ultimately responsible for the usurpation of the Imperial throne. Yes, a vampire. My mistress thinks so. As far as we know, she is never seen in daylight at all. I think Friafoff is better informed to explain further.
There used to be many years ago, but it stopped all of a sudden after the catastrophe.
Continue, Friafoff. It's all right. You have nothing to be ashamed of. Friafoff was tutor to the former Countess of Bruma, Guardian, and can also explain the terrible manner in which the position became available.
For many years I had served the former Count and Countess of Bruma, and schooled their only child, a daughter, in the ways of nobility, etiquette, and math. The Countess lost her husband in a riding accident when... I can't bring myself to say her name. One night, Sophia just disappeared. Oh, we searched. I never gave up. But as the weeks turned into months, the poor Countess became withdrawn. She lost the will to live and died of a broken heart. When Milady Rigmor arrived, she told me all about what had befallen her in Skyrim, how you had rescued Sorella, and how a similar thing that happened to Sophia happened to Sorella. That she, too, had bad dreams, heard voices calling her. I wish I'd taken more notice of the poor child. But that you rescued Sorella after an encounter with a coven of witch devils. After investigating the disappearance of children in Cyrodiil, it stopped altogether about the time the coven was destroyed. Sophia was the last. I fear I must also retire. Recalling this terrible event has taken its toll.
Oh, no doubt at all, Guardian. Rigmor's arrival saved him. They get along very well indeed, and she is rather fond of him. She rarely speaks to me, though, or her mother, if she does come to the castle. She thinks we meddle too much in her life, but she will confide in Friafoff. There must be more to this. Dark sets of events, Guardian. Something that eludes us. To have such powers of recalling, it all ties into my suspicions, but Cepheus is not an uncommon name. We could, of course, be completely and utterly wrong. I'll have to conduct some investigations. Hammerfell would be a good starting point. After all, a brood mother must have a brood, and fledglings cannot help but make a lot of noise. I would advise you to rest for a while. If there are more sinister reasons to what's behind the Imperial throne, it certainly won't be anything to do with a young errant know-it-all. But we can't take the chance they know of her ancestry. Keris will show you to your room. I must bid you good night.
Follow me, Dragonborn. It's so good to see you again. Malasan prefers the college to the keep, but I actually like it here. The college is all I've ever known, mostly. And I still go there sometimes, but the keep feels so much more secure and not ready to fall into the sea. This way, Dragonborn. This is the Lord's Hall. Malasan and I share the same room in the lower part of the living quarters, along with Threofoth. But we do have a special room reserved for important guests in the upper quarters. Lady Sagun resides here. The rooms are right next to Lady Rigmor's room. Dragonborn, it's going to be hard for her when she sees you again. Don't think you can just walk back into her life and begin where you left off. Well, she's fine, but lately it's been difficult for her to settle down. Why does he concern you? It's been some time and people move on. She did try to write, and it's been hard for her to let you go. She depended on you. She loved you with all her heart. But now she is happy again and is finding her own way, however that way may be. If you really love her, really in your heart, you will accept her how she is now. But you must let her go. It doesn't work that way anymore. She's nobility, and she is with Bobby now. Yes, Robert. He really is a nice, charming man. He tries. Although she can be a handful, he's good for her. Please don't ruin it. Go to the Tap and Tack and speak to Colin. He's the barkeeper there. If there are any rumours to be had, he is the one to talk to. He might be able to help you. Failing that, take this key to Rigmor's apartment. If she's not there, you might find some clues as to where she is.
Got something to say?
Yes. Can I help you? Rigmor, huh? Saw her about a week ago. She came in here with that Leowin boy. What's his name again? Oh yeah, Robert. There was a bit of a scuffle with some of the locals and his bodyguards. Yeah, he doesn't go anywhere without them. One is a huge ox called Grom, a Nord. The other is a sly little fellow, would knife you in the back without a second thought. They call him Tiny. I told Milady Rigmor it would be best to leave. She paid for any damage and they left. Haven't seen her since. That girl? She's a wildcat. Hardly surprising with what she's been through. Watch the kid grow up. The family was well respected in Bruma. When they took them all away, it was quite a shock. No one heard anything for years. Then just a little after the Count fell off his horse, she returned. Deeds, titles, the whole shebang. The whole city turned out. That was a day to remember. She just wanted to be like everyone else. I know recently she moved out of the keep and now stays at her apartment. It's just around the corner. She doesn't go there often though, but it's worth a try. Out the door, 5th house on the left. My pleasure. Don't forget, if you want to taste some fine ales, this is the place to visit. Welcome to the Tap and Tack. Please, make yourself at home. If you want to taste some fine ales, you've come to the right place.
One life ends another. Dead man hanging in the tree. He was waiting for his other 3. The wife never cried. Something in the little girl died. Selfish reasons for the wife. Little did she know it was more than one ended life. Little girl sleep. Little lonely girl in deep. Never to awaken to another sunrise. Only then was the wife's errors realized. End one life and end another. Not forgotten. Cast adrift in this time, paying for someone else's crime. Make my flesh cry red. Cruel words me said. Make me cry. Make me want to die. But one thing is certain. I will not let fate close the curtain. But you will not break me. I will not let you see. I will defy you to my very last breath, even on the brink of death. I am not forgotten by those I love.
I've never kept a diary before, so here goes. Frithov has encouraged me to do it. Says it'll be good for me. Actually, it's a bit weird, like talking to myself. But now I've moved back into the old house, my apartment. I can finally begin to breathe again. I know Mom's disappointed with me, but she doesn't show it. As for Malisam, he can do one. The keep made me feel suffocated, and after everything I've been through, I just need a little more time to adjust and my own space to do it in. Frithov has been great and understands, and has been really helpful. Carice too, and the poetry and drawings have also helped me focus a lot. I have to move on, start afresh. I have had to come to terms I might never see Dragonborn again. Those first years were especially hard for me. After getting no replies from my letters, I resigned myself to the fact Dragonborn has moved on too. Even now, I wake up in a cold sweat, calling out, "Who is that sitting at the foot of my bed? Is that you? Have you come back for me?" But it's only the shadows. Apparently, it's normal. You create a certain bond. I never knew that feeling before. You would do anything for those that you trust and come to love. You give yourself freely, openly, with no words needed, with just the slightest passing glance you see into someone's soul. The sacrifices you would make in a heartbeat for that person, no questions asked. The sacrifices Dragonborn made for me. To be free and happy. Ties that bind. For eternity. But I have moved on now. And if they think I'm going to marry that Coral kid, they've got another thing coming, and Malisam can shove his protocol up his ass. I only put up with him because of Carice. Malisam's one defining feature in his life was adopting her as a small child. I finally found out what was between them. She's his daughter and protege. Apparently, on a pilgrimage to the shrine of his beloved mistress, he passed a ransacked burning wagon train and came across Carice wandering disoriented in the road, calling for her parents. She was 3 years old. I love Carice. We share something in common. We're sisters. What a shitty, cruel world we have been born into. Oh, and I have first-hand experience of that. But now, I think I've earned myself some slight indulgence and melancholy. Fight hard, play hard, right? As for Bobby, he's actually quite cute. He doesn't try to handle me with kid gloves. He's honest, caring, and likes to party. And I think he understands me. He listens and is agreeable. And he's fun. I'm going to rent a room at the Roxy Inn. It's so more convenient. Bobby can sail up the Nibbin estuary into the lake. I love it there, by the lake. Reminds me of Riften. I'm sure Dragonborn would approve.
Wood! Nakast!
Nakast! A few more drinks, and she will be under the table. Lights out. War's over.
Ha! You wish, Grom. I can drink as much
You
as
want
any
something from me?
man.
Careful, Rigmor. I don't want you waking up in a hedge again.
Butt out, Bobby.
Careful, Tiny. Remember who pays your wages.
Come to Grom, little lady.
Hey! Who said I was a lady?
Who's this? What business do you have here?
By the gods.
Yes?
State your business, good sir, or I'll be forced to...
Bobby, it's okay.
Need something?
This is the Guardian.
By Talos.
Need
This
something?
is him?
Please accept my apologies for being so... rash. If I had known...
Your
Rigmor
skin's
has
as pale
told
as
us
the
so much about
snow.
you, Guardian.
You scared of sunlight or something?
Bobby, you go ahead without me. I'll catch up with you later.
Of course. Guardian, it's a pleasure to meet you at long last. I'm sure the Countess is in
Need
safe
something?
hands. Come, Grom, Tiny. We have a boat to catch.
Yes? Need something?
Okay. And where the hell have you been? You have no idea how worried I was for you. You promised you would come and visit me, and you leave it all these years and just appear out of nowhere like magic. What is wrong with you? Well, just don't think you can walk back into my life. I've moved on now. Yeah, I have a new life now. I can't believe you left it so long. How did you even find me? You had better not have been going through my things at my apartment. How could you do that? Is nothing sacred? My private things? Oh, the gods, Dragonborn. Why would you do that? Give me one good reason why I don't slap you and walk away. Whatever. Like, yeah, right. I was only thinking of you. Like after 4 years, Dragonborn. 4 years, and now you turn up like a bad septim. Did my mother send for you? By the gods. She is so going to regret that. And so, now you're here. What is it? Go on, tell me what finally brings you to Cyrodiil, to take the time to actually bother to see me now. Safe? I can look after myself. I don't need someone holding my hand to sign some crummy document. I can't believe you would finally come all the way here just for that. After everything we've been through together, you finally turn up for a worthless scrap of paper.
sorry. Not as sorry as I am. Not as sorry as I am at all. Dragonborn, I have missed you so much. I don't know what to do. Why did you not come for me? You promised you would come get me. Yeah, well, things have changed. As you can see, I'm with Bobby now.
Being a countess has its drawbacks. I have to have a noble match, you see. Mother and Malisam wanted me to marry the Count of Coral. Ugh, no thanks.
Way too namby-pamby. I don't spend much time at the castle. I met Bobby here at the Roxy. I love it here. Out of the cold, the lake close by. It reminds me of Riften. I've been renting a room here, away from all that stiff-ass court duties crap thing. I need to be who I am. Bobby respects that. He's not really a noble in the real sense. He's fun, and it's helped me a lot to adjust to my new life. Dragonborn, stop it. Of course he doesn't know. Nobody knows. We mustn't talk about this again, okay? But what about you? What have you been doing all this time?
So what do we do now? What's been going on?
Well, at least that gives us some breathing space. I'll need to change into something more ladylike. How about we go back to Bruma? It's your first time in Cyrodiil, right? I could show you around. Some of the places I knew as a kid. Would you like that? It's so good to see you again, Dragonborn. I know it might feel a little strange with how things have changed, how I have moved on, but it's what I want.
Please don't be disappointed with me.
Well, what are you waiting for, Dragonborn? Go on, say it. Let's go.
Need something?
Need something?
Let's go back to my apartment first. I'll need to change.
The Countess approaches. Open the gate.
My toe.
Yes. Yo! Sword!
Come in. Make yourself at home.
Hey, I need to change. Wait here. I'll be right back. So, what about this? I made it myself. Yeah, right. Whatever. We'll have to go to the castle, but hey, check my stuff out. Did you see my paintings? Neat, huh? Intruder. Oh, har har. Very funny. You see that picture on the left? That's Ren. And those there were my flowers.